All right, good morning. Welcome back to part 2 of Gilligan's steering and brake upgrade. Got a little bit done off camera since the last video, but let's get into it and see what's left to do on this. All right, let's take a look and see what I got done here. Actually, I already did the first test drive. Me and buddy Eric spent a lot of time on this today, getting these brakes dialed in. I know in the previous video I mentioned the amount that we had to lengthen the brake push rod. You can throw that out the window because we had to lengthen that a whole bunch more to get the pedal up where it felt more comfortable. So yeah, disregard that measurement that we took thinking we were going to be all technical and stuff. So yeah, it's really long. So almost to the end of the travel, that adjusting that little plunger. So, but brakes feel really good with the Duff calipers and the master cylinder on there now. Now I can throw the truck in 4 low, and with hardly any foot on the brake pedal, I can hold the truck still. I could not do that before. So very happy with that. On to the steering. We have toes all set, steering wheel is all centered, everything's been torqued down, blue Loctited, every nut's been marked. There's a steering ram. I ended up putting some that protective sleeve on the hydro lines, protect those, and actually I'm going to put some on the oil cooler lines too, because that one's hanging even lower than the steering line. So felt pretty good on the first test drive. The steering wheel is definitely tighter, and it's definitely slower to respond with the hydraulic ram on there. That's going to take a little bit of getting used to on my part, but it feels really good, and it actually tracked down the road pretty good. I have the toe set at 1/4 inch out right now, so I may play around with that. Maybe bring it a little bit closer to 0 to see if that makes any difference or not, though. So far, pretty happy here. So I'm going to call this stuff a success, and we're going to move on to a couple other little details with the truck now too. Early morning, Gilligan, Michigan. Love that sweet sound. Hold that thought. Yeah. So it's been about a week since that clip you just watched 5 seconds ago. And I ended up taking the truck up north to Gilligan, Michigan. Our club, we did a little pre-run scouting out some trails for an event we got coming up at the end of the month. So this was the first time, I drove the truck around town here, put a few miles on it. Like I said, everything felt pretty good. But once we got up there, we did we probably did 75 miles of 2-tracking and in trails. And I found out that the steering is not right. It is a little heavy, but the problem is the Explorer power steering pump just doesn't move enough volume or pressure for the ram to keep up. I found myself, you get in some of these trails and some trees, you got to make some, quick, tight maneuvers or whatever. And the steering just couldn't keep up with, my input into the steering wheel. So I had to make some changes. As soon as I got home, I ordered up some more parts. And let me show you what I got going on here now. So the first thing I did is I pulled off the bracket and the power steering pump off the front of the motor, all the Explorer stuff. So I got all that off, and we'll be using that on Lisa's truck, BB. So I put all Explorer front dress on her motor too. So all that is going bye-bye. And sorry about the absolute shit show disaster here, but anyway, I ended up calling Wild Horses, since that's where I got all the steering ram and all that stuff from. And I bought their kit that includes their Saginaw Explorer bracket. It's a real simple bracket. It takes a place of that big aluminum one. I'm gonna have to relocate some stuff. Comes with a new length serpentine belt, Saginaw pump, and some fittings to go to dash 6 AN lines. So I'm swapping all this on right now. This, it's not the best setup, but it's the best one I can fit on the truck. I really wanted to do the full PSC pump and their remote reservoir with filter in it. But based on what they say, you got to have that reservoir mounted higher than the pump. And there just physically isn't room under the hood to mount that reservoir higher than this pump because of where it goes on the motor. So this is going to have to work. And from what I'm reading, this sounds like this should be fine. And then here's the bracket from Wild Horses. Looked like it came zinc plated. Looked really nice. I just wanted it black. So nice little simple bracket. A couple spacers here. I just blacked everything out. So that's what I'm putting on the truck now. So hopefully all of this is going to get the ram so it can keep up with my input. So that's what we're doing right now anyway. Oh, and I did upgrade the lighting on it too, since we're gonna be doing some winter wheeling here in a few weeks. Time for some nice LEDs. Anyway, let's get back to putting this thing together. All right, so one of the things I had to do, I removed the high pressure power steering hose from the steering box, and I put in a inverted flare to a dash 6 adapter. This is the fitting that I bought. You can get them many different places, many different brands. This is Fragorla, whatever the heck that is. So, because on the back of the Saginaw pump is going to take this adapter to go to dash 6, so then I'll make up a dash 6 high pressure hose for that. All right, I'm not going into too many details on installing this bracket. On Wild Horses website and their YouTube channel, they actually got a good video, shows how to install this bracket on a motor out of the truck. But there's the idler bracket. You gotta use some spacers to get all the pulleys lined up. There's the bracket that holds the pump, bolted to the head. Now I'm ready to throw the actual pump on. So everything there is done. Well, all right. First snag. The fitting that I ordered with the pump from Wild Horses don't fit. Won't even start to thread in there. So now I got to find that fitting, see what size thread that is. Also, the pump they send with mounting bolts to bolt the pump to the bracket, but the pump has studs on it. I'm not about to pull these out. I don't know if you're supposed to pull those out and put the bolts in instead. I'm not messing with those, so I got to find some nuts to fit. So we got those, but damn it, this pisses me off. It's gonna hold me up now. And voila, there it is. Pump's on. I've already cycled it a few times, bled it, burped it, made a mess, refilled it. Belt came with it, was good, right length. Everything's good. Had to relocate my coil. All good there. So far, no leaks, and just cycling it here in the garage, it does feel a lot lighter than it did before. So I got a couple more things to do to the truck before I take it out for a little test drive. So I'm gonna knock out a few more things, then we'll take it on the road and see how she feels. All right, little update here. Out in the truck, street driving it right now. And I gotta say the steering is much nicer now. Very happy. And just left my buddy's shop and built a new tailpipe for the exhaust. Quiet this thing down a little bit on the inside. Mucho better-o. So yeah, here we go, check this out. Got a steering wheel a little bit. She's just a hair off. But the steering, yeah, it's nice. I can actually make some pretty quick maneuvers with the steering wheel, and it keeps up fine now. So much better now with the Saginaw pump. So she's definitely a success now. So we'll get her off-road and see how she does next here in the next couple weeks. Excited for that. All right, well, that's going to finish up this two-part video anyway for the steering. PSC RAM, all the new steering stuff down there, the Saginaw pump, the Wild Horses, bracket for the Explorer front dress, the James Duff brake upgrade with the bigger calipers, different master cylinder. Everything works as designed, and very happy. So we're gonna go ahead and end this video, call this a wrap, and we're gonna move on to the next upgrade. We got one more thing here planned before we head up north to Grayling again for our little club event. So stay tuned. Later.